Hey, I'm Brian Van.
I'm Max Van.
And today we're finally a little bit late.
Couple weeks late,
but that's what happens when you work full time and we're busy. We got a lot of shit going on. Race recap, MotoAmerica Junior Cup, Road Atlanta Round 1. You know, one of the coolest parts about the race weekends, the results, obviously, we're going to talk about the results, but there's so many stories to tell, right? And so we're going to do a little bit of both. We're going to talk about results, and we're going to talk about some of the cool and maybe even some of the not so cool things that happened. Let's start off with, this is for sure not cool. Let's talk about your qualifying, buddy.
how about we start out with FP1? FP1 went well.
It went pretty good.
So FP1 went well. I was P2, no draft, just riding by myself. I think I was like 4/10 off or something like that. Not too terrible. And then, I was feeling good for qualifying, ready to improve. And qualifying came along, and I did not improve. I think I went...
You went slower. You actually went slower.
7/10 slower.
He went so much slower when he came in. I charged him for that set of tires because he wasted them, because he went out and he went slower than he went in FP1, which is, it's not great.
Not exactly, no, but it's
not great. So one of the things, right, because obviously you guys know I'm his dad. So I'm not just trying to raise a motorcycle racer, I'm trying to raise a human being, okay? One of the things that we've worked on is keeping your emotions in check.
Yep.
Right? And that's a lesson that's something we all need to work on.
For sure.
For sure, because the more in control of that shit you are, the more you're able to, when you have an issue, you're able to keep calm, you're focused, right?
100%.
And you get better results. And what I was really proud of, probably the thing I was most proud of you from that weekend, is you came in from that, and last year you would have thrown a fit, and I would have guaranteed you would have finished in 6th place or worse in both races. This year you came in, you were really calm, you're like, you know what? I waited too long.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my fault. But I got 2 races.
For sure. Yeah, I did wait too long, for the first half of qualifying. I was kind of going back and forth. Like the last 7 minutes, I finally kind of got into a groove. And then I ran into lappers and lap traffic. And when I had good predictive times, it probably would have put me in like the top 4, I would say. I don't think I would have gotten onto the front row, if I'm being honest. Maybe if I started pushing earlier on. But unfortunately, like the last couple of laps, I had really good times going. Like I said, probably would have put me in 4th. And then,
which is a lot better than 6.
A lot better than 6, and a lot better than 2 seconds off. But then downfalls came. But we're here. So.
Yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, the great part was you kept calm, man.
Yeah.
You kept calm, and so my brother, my boy Dave, right? We're the 3 of us. We take care of Max's team. We're all wondering, and to be honest, we were pretty much expecting not amazing results. Saturday morning, we get to the track. It had rained. The session, we would have had to burn a set of tire stickers that we didn't have to burn because we needed the other 4 tires for racing, so we couldn't go out.
Could not go out whatsoever.
Couldn't go out.
I think the only folks that went out were people that didn't qualify the day prior or something like that.
Yeah, there was just a handful of bikes on track. So we missed that. So basically on Saturday, all you got
was just the race. I got the warm-up lap, and then that was it before the true start.
We got a good start.
Well, red flag happened before the race. The leaders, they're gapping me in the beginning, I'm being honest. And then once the red flag came out, I kind of realized, I was like, man, that was, I hope the rider's all right. Like, JT, I'm glad you're good. And, back up and going to be riding at the next couple of rounds. But I was almost thankful, you know what I mean? I had another chance to restart and kind of think about what I did wrong. So came into the pitch, just kind of sat in myself, realized like, man, you sucked for the first 2 or 3 laps or whatever it was. And I went out and just tried to improve on that.
Fast guys go fast.
Fast, and that's what I...
Right, and so right from the jump, you have to get out and you have to get to work. Especially when you've already done your qualifying. Yeah. And you know what it feels like to do a 42 or whatever times that you're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
You already know what it takes to do that. You know what the track conditions are like. You had the sighting and warm-up. You should literally get to it immediately. And you figured that out on the restart. And that was a solid race. You led plenty. At the end, Avery showed you what's up.
Yes, he sure did. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Avery.
man, that was great. That was great. Avery had a great weekend. You know, friends with those guys for sure. Super happy for him. You want to win,
100%.
but when you're racing with your buddies
For sure.
and they get the better of you, you're still friends.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know what the first win feels like. I know what the winning feeling feels like, as I should say.
Now Avery does too.
Now Avery does too, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
too.
me too.
Avery's a good friend.
100%. It's going to be a really competitive year. You guys went faster this year than you did last year, in what a lot of people thought was going to be a less competitive field.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Bickney showed up. Avery showed up. Alessandro looks fast. This Rossi Moore kid, they're going to figure the bike out. Rossi's an excellent motorcycle
100%.
racer.
And Chase Black was also
Chase
quick
Black
too.
looked great.
So there's going to be a big battle. I think of 6, maybe 7 of us guys at the front.
Yeah.
I think that'll be it till the end of the season.
I want to talk about Sunday because this was awesome for a couple of different reasons. You know, we don't get to ride as much as we'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this year Max has ridden twice. I took him to Barber once, and then he went to MotoAmerica and rode Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you did pretty good. You made do with the tools that we've given you to use.
Without a doubt.
So this year I got Max a little bit of help. We got him a coach. That would be what I would say is one of the greatest motorcycle racers in the history of motorcycle racing, Josh Hayes.
Yep.
The dude can ride. Obviously still riding, racing, very competitive.
Very well.
He could put bikes together, you know, and coach. An amazing person to work with, and I think that he was very beneficial for us
For sure.
at Road Atlanta. On Sunday, it was really cold in the morning. You know, like I said earlier, I'm raising a human being, not a motorcycle racer. He chose not to go out for morning warm-up
47 degrees.
on Sunday. That is a decision that I didn't necessarily agree with, but he's at a point in his life where I have to give him the ability to make some of his own decisions. Along with those decisions come what?
Choosing to go out for warm-up or not.
Accountability.
Yeah.
And I told him when he said that to me, I'm like, just so you know, dude, if you race like shit today, we're going to be pissed. Because maybe you would have figured something out in that warm-up that would have been beneficial. When his coach found out he didn't go out, we're not going to repeat the words.
Yeah.
He came over, and to Max, he expressed very serious dissatisfaction with the fact. And then he came over to me after the fact, and him and I talked about it. And I said what I just said to you, that we're at this point with Max where I have to allow him the flexibility to make decisions. And Josh and I talked about it, and he didn't necessarily completely agree with it, but he understood it. Come race time.
Come race time.
Dude,
It's 12:45.
this is amazing, okay? You were completely out of the race after the first lap.
Yeah, for sure.
You were done.
I got a garbage start. I think I was down to I think I got down to 7th or so.
I think you might have been an 8th for a
I
minute,
think I
too.
got down to 8th for a minute, and then I worked my way up to 7th.
You totally lost the front group,
I did.
100%.
I did lose the front group, and it was just one corner, man, turn 5. You know, after watching the race now, I was able to, which I probably would have learned in warm up. I would have been able to fix my line and carry more speed through there, but I was entering way too tight. And after watching, you know, me getting beat by Avery, no, I'm kidding, but over and over.
Yeah,
and
Avery
over.
beat you twice, actually.
Twice, but in race 2, I probably watched it 25 times just to see what exactly I was doing wrong. And every lap, I would enter just a couple feet earlier than everybody, and I would probably get the same amount of roll speed. But you know, my drive out of the corner, I'd be using so much track, I'd have to like let off a little bit, or else I probably would have sent it to like the grass or something like that on the exit. So now I know what I did
I like
wrong.
that you figured it out.
For sure, for sure.
And that lesson on entry, too, and I'm not saying I'm better than you, because I'm certainly not. It's comfortable to turn in early because it feels safer.
Because it feels safer.
But what that does is it totally blows the exit.
And I was blowing my exit every lap and like being totally certain. Like, of course I was pushing hard every lap, and I wasn't, you know, I was probably pushing 95% of what I had. I just didn't want to that last extra 5. You don't really know how that's going to plan out when you're pushing that hard. But I needed to. I didn't have time to figure out what I was doing wrong within those 11 laps. I kind of had to realize, I was like, hey, I need to be in this position. I don't have time to fix my line. I don't have time to do this. Let's just see what we can do because we're still in touch.
How many other corners are there?
Something. I have no clue.
Doesn't matter the
I think
total
it was
corner
like-
count,
I
but
think it was like, I don't know.
and this is
good
another
amount.
thing that we worked on before. Last year, when he had one spot that he sucked, he would end up carrying that into the other corners. And what I told him is, I'm like, dude, you have all those other corners on the racetrack to use and master, and there's some that you're going to be better than other people in. And I like that this time you're like, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing here because this isn't the time to figure it out and throw my bike on the ground.
Yeah.
But I have all these other corners, and dude, best ride you've ever put in.
Yeah.
You
I would,
certainly didn't win.
For sure. I would say I wasn't happy because I didn't, I wasn't able to lead the race and kind of battle with the top three. I think I truly caught up, and I was, I honestly, I didn't want to show my cards super early on also. I feel like that, I kind of just wanted to stay back there, but I was also pushing almost as hard as I could to keep up with everybody in front of me.
Oh, they were riding fast.
The last couple laps, I was able to catch up and set I think 3 minute 41s down just
in
to
a
kind
row.
of be in the group, which I was pretty pleased with. And then I think with 3 laps to go going into 10A, I think I got up to P3. And then from there, P2, and I was pushing real hard and came across the white flag. Of course, Avery was leading. I was right on him until we got through turn 5, and then he gapped me a little bit because my line sucked through there. And I pushed as hard as I could. Honestly, I got a great drive on the back straightaway. Avery was leading across the white flag. I was on his butt until I exited turn 5, or until we got to turn 5. And again, I ran wide.
Avery showed you what's up.
He gapped me Jurassically. He did show me what's up. I tried to push as hard as I could through 6 and 7. I got a pretty good drive onto the back straightaway, and I was just trying to just get into his draft, and that was the goal. And luckily, at the end of the straightaway, I was able to get into his draft. But going into 10A, Avery was so deep, I was so deep, I was like, you know what, how about we kind of chill out. It's either I'm going to tuck the front and take him out, or I'm going to crash myself. Something's going to happen here. I said, thankfully, that I kind of chilled out and I kind of settled for second place. Unfortunately, rider came under me, Alessandro, and he tucked the front entering that corner because he was in real hot. And, most racetracks have bumps, so that's kind of what happened. And
He was never making that corner.
he was real deep. I was already so deep. My front was already like kind of folding.
Yeah, he was never.
Bit. And
his prediction almost came true, which we will not discuss openly in this video. But his prediction almost came true, but it didn't. And watching that video too, dude, you reacted to it just right. You were able to get it stood up just a little bit.
I was, on the camera, you can't really see how close him and I were, but I swear I was 3 to 5 inches away from
just getting your front wheel just cleaned right out.
From being somewhat collected. When you're going down into 10A and someone's on the left and the right side of you, you can't really see them until they're just there. I mean, I'm sure you guys kind of know how it is with peripheral vision and things like that, but you can't really see them until they're there, and then that's kind of what happened.
Jesus on your team?
I did.
You didn't get cleaned out?
Stood the bike up a little bit, was able to kind of, make my way through, and then I crossed the line in second place, and then I was almost like, I came across the line, you can guys see I kind of touched my heart, and I was like, man, thank God I wasn't kind of, collecting that. I didn't become
100%.
Didn't become a
Because it was
plus
close.
one. And I was also like, thank God I sucked, and then I didn't. You know what I mean? I sucked for the
Best ride you've ever put in.
Sucked for the first 8 laps, and then
You didn't quit. You rode hard, and even though you were really struggling in that one corner, you just kept fighting everywhere else.
100%. Yeah.
And now look at what that got you, and what it showed you too that's possible is you can show up at the racetrack, qualify like complete garbage. Okay, I couldn't believe you qualified in 6th.
Me neither.
But it is what it is.
But it happened.
And you sucked it up, right? And you learned, I think, a lot about yourself that weekend, and you learned a lot about opportunity when those races were still in front of you. What was behind you was the qualifying. That didn't go the way that you wanted it to, but it doesn't mean that the races aren't going to go the way that you want them to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just have to get a reasonable start, race hard, and
100%.
You have to stay with that front group.
For sure.
And how you found your way back to the front group on Sunday, I mean, I think I remember Greg White going, and here comes Max Van out of nowhere, because you were done.
I was done.
You were done.
I was done.
You were done. I was starting to take the canopy down on Hot Pit. I was getting ready to load the trailer, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, he caught the back group.
Yeah, I did not suck.
Back of the group, and I knew when you got there. I knew when you got back into that group, 100% you were coming home with a podium.
For sure.
Didn't know which spot it was going to be, but I knew when you worked so hard to catch them that you were going to make it count, and you did. Great weekend. Let's talk about your push-ups.
Oh yeah, at the end, Avery, Chase Black, and I, and we all did some push-ups, and then we you know.
I don't think MotoAmerica was super pumped, but
Not
it
at
is
all.
what it is.
Not at all. You know, we came into the pits and we were all happy for one another. So
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
good, man. You guys had a cool little celebration. I think you did that by yourself on Saturday.
I did. I sure did.
Some fans came over and
Yeah.
gave me the video. It was pretty funny.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, because you're kind of entertaining people and you like
Somewhat.
working out. So
Somewhat.
I'm going to celebrate my second place.
Yeah, without a doubt.
By
Gotta
doing some
celebrate my
push-ups.
second place.
So there you have it. A little long-winded.
A little long.
A lot of stories to tell.
For sure.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's great to get back to the track. It's a lot of work to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Got through our trailer drama and got the new trailer set up, and that worked great. Oh,
Yeah.
Chef Eats.
Chef Eats.
We went from eating cold cuts at the racetrack to having a cooler full of pre-made meals. And these things are unbelievable. Dude, it's like going to Longhorn Steakhouse. You get a steak with the potatoes and the broccoli. They were actually better than the first night at Longhorns.
Legendary.
Dude, we got a microwave in the trailer. Look this guy up. Chef Eats, EATZ, right?
Yep.
.com.
Located in Georgia, ships to like basically from Midwest to the East Coast. Somewhat Midwest to the East Coast. But yeah,
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a, obviously geographic restriction. You got to ship the food and keep it
don't want it to be
keep
go
it
bad.
fresh. Full disclosure, Max is sponsored by Jeff. I am not sponsored by Jeff. I'm actually paying, and I bought the food for our entire crew. Right, we
Easy.
feed them every weekend, and I got to tell you, I'm ordering it and gladly paying for it every single weekend from here forward because now, instead of going to the track and eating like a garbage gut, right, with cold cuts and whatever, we're eating.
100%.
First class stuff,
Yeah.
and it wasn't really that expensive.
For sure, not at all. And I'm not gonna lie, my race diet last year was peanut butter sandwiches and bananas.
Peanut butter sandwiches.
I would
and
probably go
bananas.
through 2 pounds of peanut butter every weekend.
So, thanks everyone for
Thank you,
watching.
guys.
Appreciate your support, and on to Barber in another 2 weeks.